Testing mic, testing, testing.
Testing mic, testing, testing.
You can speak louder. You don't
Testing mic,
have to, but
testing, testing.
okay.
Does that sound good?
Okay, we're rolling. All right. Thank you, Amy, for coming over and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I know I've been kind of like hounding you to do this for a while.
Well, it's not that I haven't wanted to do it,
I
but
get it.
this little thing is busy.
I get it. I
So
was gonna
jam-packed.
I was gonna reply back to your text that you said you were an open book, and I was gonna ask if your books were open.
Never. Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I make time for things that I want to make time for. And
Oh,
I've wanted to do this, and here I am. So,
perfect.
yeah.
It is amazing to see how much you've progressed in your business and how successful it is.
hmm
Because I think maybe that's where I want to start. Well, let's start with like, where you grew up. How did you even get into this business? And you can walk through the whole entire, if you want to talk about how you became your own independent and all that kind of stuff.
hmm
So I don't know where you grew up, but you could start with where you grew up and how it led to you becoming like one of the best tattoo artists in the Quad Cities and maybe even in Iowa. I mean,
Thank you.
you do good stuff, I think.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have humble beginnings from a very small town in Iowa. Iowa girl here all the way. I grew up in Clinton, about 30 minutes north of where we are right now. And I was a below the hill girl. I don't know if people understand what that means, but we're in a valley here.
Yep.
And if you live below the hill in most areas around here, it means that you're in the poverty section. And you don't have all of the things offered to you because we didn't have any money.
Got it.
My dad was a musician. My mom had various little jobs, but she was mostly a librarian. So in my life, art
Mm.
and literature was life, even if it wasn't available all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So your dad was a musician. Was he in a band? What
Oh
instruments
yeah.
did he play and all
He
that?
played the bass and he did
Okay.
harmony, and he was a tiny little nugget. He was
Okay.
like 5'7", just this handsome little man. He has passed away, but yeah, he played bass. And um, fun fact, my
Dope.
son plays guitar and he looks just like him when he plays, and they've never even met. It's crazy. Yeah,
Rudy.
Brody.
And so he was a full-time musician, like professional, getting paid to do gigs and
He
stuff?
did gigs and stuff, but it was a small town, and it was a small area. But bands, if you're in a band, that's your thing.
Yeah.
That's your favorite thing to do. His favorite thing was music. I loved watching him play. That stuck with me forever, even into the men that I chose to date.
Okay.
Like musicians, what can you
Yeah.
say?
So when I have on like guests that have like say they were an adult, they became a runner and or they like whatever the heck it ended up being, like Kurt Johnson, he played basketball in college. And like I said, okay, where did that come from? Like,
Mhm.
and it was his mom who actually played basketball. So like for me, it would be like, okay, you mentioned your mom was a librarian and your dad was a musician. Why didn't you become a musician? Or do you play instruments and stuff like
I'm
that?
the worst musician on the planet. My dad definitely tried to. I know you're gonna find this hard to believe. I've known you for many years. I can be a little stubborn.
Oh, come on.
I know. A little, I don't need you to show me how to do things kind of person. But actually, everybody needs to be shown how to do things. And I was just kind of, I think, I'm not 25. So when I was little, we didn't have things like diagnosis of ADHD.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little bouncy
Yeah.
and a little, I call it a fart on a skillet. That's my mom's favorite line from when I was little. And you're just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so I could never sit still long enough to learn things. Um, but I was always around books and I
Mhm.
always had paper and crayon. So on my own, I just that my very first good memories are art related.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's cool. It's funny, like you mentioned ADHD, and I have an older brother that's 13 months older, and I swear he was the first kid on some kind of med, like a
Hmm.
Ritalin or something. And
Hmm.
then I think he was in like either second grade. He was just, he's a mechanic,
Yeah.
he used his hands
But
like
he's
an
also
artist.
very smart.
Right. Well, he's
Yeah.
also very smart. He's intuitive, and he can take things apart and put them back together. So I think that's where like the artsy, craftsy kind of like thing comes from, is that you have to be, and I'm the same way. Like I have to be doing something
Oh,
like
yeah.
with my hands. Like, hey, I got like sitting at a desk. It was just, bleh.
Mm-mm. I don't think I could handle that.
Yeah. So your mom's a librarian,
Hmm.
and you guys were living in somewhere,
A small town in
wait,
Iowa. Hmm.
below the hill,
Below the hill. Small town below the hill.
near the railroad tracks.
Uh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, where the Mississippi, in every town along the Mississippi, there is Mississippi, railroad tracks, below the hill,
And then,
and then an upper level of income.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so you go through like elementary school,
Hmm.
and then where did you go to high school? Clinton?
I went to 4 high schools.
Okay. Maybe we can figure out why.
Well,
Did
it wasn't because of
you start
me.
at Clinton?
I did. I started at Clinton.
Okay.
And then I went to United Township, and then I
Okay.
went to Rockridge my freshman year. My sophomore year, I went to Moline. My senior year, I moved to Rock Island, but I didn't have to go to Rocky because I was a senior. I got to stay at Moline.
Oh,
This was because my mom met my stepdad,
okay.
and we moved here to the big Quad Cities where the malls were. I was very excited. It was 1989. That's telling my age.
And
Oh my
what?
gosh.
89 high school?
I started in as a freshman in 1989.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they were trying to figure out how we were going to become a family and what kind of housing we would need. Like the first house didn't fit. Second house didn't fit. Third house fit for a while. But then we found the house that fit the most was in Rock Island. So
And only child?
sounds like it, right?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Now I have
Brothers, sisters,
two. I have two older brothers.
older brothers,
Hmm.
and how like we're in the rank, like years wise.
My older brother, I don't really discuss him very much. My
Okay.
stepbrother is 2 years older, um, and I love him. He just has some issues, but yeah. Hmm.
So you have one brother that's from both of the parents, and then one that's from your dad or your dad's. Like, uh,
One half brother
okay,
and one stepbrother.
okay.
Hmm.
I don't even know what that all that means.
I don't
No, I'm
either.
just kidding.
I don't
I know.
either. But one good thing that did come from my eldest brother is he's got 2 children, um, who I absolutely adore. My niece and nephew
Okay.
are some of the best people on the planet, and my niece has gifted us babies.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
like, and she's pregnant with another one, and
Holy
they're
smart.
just the best. I love them. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, so now you're in high school, plural, and you graduate from Moline.
Hmm.
And then what did you do? Did you have like what were, well, let me ask you this, because like I think back to like my high school career, and I like when I was in high school I wanted to be in TV production. Like I
Hmm.
had all these classes to do movies and direct and act and edit and all that. Anyway, did you have like stuff that pointed you in this artist direction, like art classes or
My art heart started in kindergarten.
okay.
I lost an art contest to my arch nemesis. And I was like, I will vow to never lose again. And actually, the small town from which I came had in junior high the best art program you could imagine. And I had a great art teacher.
Yeah.
I had this male art teacher who was gentle, kind, and wonderful. Or when I went to Clinton, they also had a good art program. So did UT. Unfortunately, that doesn't transfer over to the other schools I went to. But no, art has that's all I've ever wanted to do was be an artist. So then I married a musician.
Hmm.
And I was doing a tattoo apprenticeship in 1998 and 99. Yeah, nobody knows that really. I talk about it more openly now because now that I'm older and I'm more calm and have had a lot of therapy. I am more able to be like, no, that happened. And
Yeah.
I actually really like where I'm at now. So I'm okay with the bumps in the road. I did that apprenticeship for about a year and a half. He was wonderful. And that was old school tattoo apprenticeship. And he made me draw and draw and draw.
Yeah.
And you're drawing stencils. You're
Yeah,
drawing. You're
yeah,
not.
yeah.
There's no stencil machine.
Yeah.
There's no. You're ordering needles and they're set. You're soldering needles together.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. I loved it. But I have had a lot of bumps in the road. I have had a lot of my legs kicked out from underneath me, and I had to start over again. So
Yeah. Let's pause there for a second because I got a funny story. Kind of the thing that I'm sure you probably remember the person's name that won the contest. Maybe, maybe not. But we had when we graduated elementary school and it was sixth grade.
Yeah.
They had superlatives.
Yeah.
And like I did all this art through elementary school, drawing, painting, everything, right? So I thought I was like a lock for the artist, like best artist. And I lost. I didn't get it. I was this kid, Robert Blazewicz.
And you'll never forget that name.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, I just remember like,
yeah.
And I just remember thinking that was the first time I remember being like, maybe you should do better.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, a kick in the teeth, and then I'm just going to be like, oh, maybe I won't draw anymore. I think I took that as like a lesson of if you want to be the best, you better practice.
You better practice.
Yeah.
Same. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, all right, sidebar, sorry.
No,
so,
that's 100%. And that is why I am at this level now. I did have, when I came back here in 2000, I love the tattoo boys around here. I'm not saying that, but it was a boys club.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't about going to go ask the guys that I went to high school with. They're this group was mostly from Alpha and Downport, but I was really good friends with them when they started the tattoo stuff here, but also I didn't live here when they started it. So I kind of came back and I went back to waiting tables, which I'm happy for because I have met thousands of people.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get back into the art thing, but I have never one day in my life not drawn something.
Yeah.
It's in my DNA. I love it. I think the art is always in there. My grandma was a hairstylist when she was very young. She owned her own business then after it was natural foods, but still like there was a creative flow there. I don't think either one of my parents could draw to save their lives, but
yeah, you wonder where a kid, like, what about like grandparents or something? Because
my grandpa was a sculptor.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and I have some of his nude sculptures in the studio, and he did bonsai trees too. Which if you've ever done that, that's like
therapeutic
and patient.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen. Yeah,
that was my stomach. I'm a little hungry. Prowl.
Do you need a snack? I don't. You got water.
You don't want me eating.
You got water
because I was a waitress, so I shoved food in.
So I was thinking about this today. I was like, okay, where can we go with the story of your progression to this, famous artist now? But I feel like there's always like my personal experience is that when I was in sales, if I was trying to win a relationship with a different customer, there had to be some kind of catalyst, like an event, right? Like, and so I'll give you mine was like, okay, why did I start this podcast? It was two reasons. One, I got divorced in 2019, and then it was I got laid off. And then I'm like, well, you know what? Let me go back to what I really loved doing, which was like, this kind of media, all that kind of crap. And so I feel like maybe there is a little bit behind the reason now that why you ended up, maybe, I'm just guessing, like doing this all on your own and then really digging in 100% betting on yourself. So
I have there's a lot of things that I could say, but I will say this the most is that I don't like to be told no, that I can't do something.
Yeah.
And I will never put men down because I have so many wonderful men in my life. I have my son, my stepdad, my partner. I have a lot of really wonderful people in my life that are male, but I will never be told by a man ever again that I can't do something or to tell me how to do something. When I was shooting weddings with my ex-husband, and we had a studio together in Davenport. We lost that studio because they were turning into apartments. That's all.
Okay.
And we were looking, and he found this space that just happened to have a little space next to it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want that space.
Yeah.
Because at that point I'm painting commissions for people constantly. I'm doing all these paintings for people. I knew I would do something. I would pay the rent in that studio somehow. And I wasn't with him shooting anymore. So I knew I didn't have that to help with anymore either. So I could kind of delve in head first. So I got this space next to his and I started painting. And I'm like, what could I do? Kids love me. I think it's because I look like a cartoon. I also love kids. I think they're hilarious. I get
Was
down
there a
on their level.
survey that they filled out
They
that said that
did.
they
They
love you?
did.
Okay.
Amy looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have always been very good with kids and animals. I don't know if it's a hyper vigilant thing from, I didn't have the best childhood. And I think if you don't have the best childhood, sometimes you're hyper vigilant and you're hypersensitive to people's energies
Yeah, you kind of don't want them to experience what you did, or you want to make
ever.
it like better for them, and you
I,
know that
mhm.
possibly stuff going on. I get it. So you're there, you get this space, and I didn't mean to pry into all the personal stuff, but like what I was saying, you're waitressing,
Mhm.
making money, and then like where did the whole like it obviously is now you're like, okay, I have the space. You started painting. Um, sorry to cut you off there,
Oh, that's
but
okay.
that
I had the space that I had to come up with a rent for.
yeah,
I was subleasing under his lease, this tiny, so that we didn't have to. I mean, when you're dealing with a commercial space, getting a lease is like a 28-page deal. It's so much red tape. Excuse me. But I was like, well, why don't I teach kids art lessons?
oh yeah,
Because people have
that's right.
always asked me,
Yeah,
can you teach my kid art lessons? I'm like, well, I'm just going to do that, but privately, one on one. I
yeah.
don't want a class because I know when I was little,
Yep.
all I wanted was for somebody to love me one on one and to pay attention to me.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and it was called, oh my gosh, Little Picasso. I almost know what it was called. And I had different names for the different levels, but that took off like wildfire. And then my best friend asked if I wanted to try apprenticing at tattooing again.
Mm.
And I was like, well, that didn't really work out
So
the
how
first
long
time.
that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was getting at was like
Mm-hmm.
the time frame from you were an apprentice in 19 or what
98, 99.
98 99 and
Mm-hmm.
now fast forward to now this is what year?
Probably 20 years later.
Okay.
Probably a long
I'm not good with
time.
math. So what is
I'm
that
not,
like
or maybe not. No,
2000
that's not true. No, that's not true. Probably around 2017
is when you started to get hey
to be she asked me to
she
apprentice. I didn't
okay.
ask her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I said, I don't think so. It didn't work out last time. And she goes, oh, because personal reasons is why I had to move back home.
Got it.
Yeah. It would get real deep dive in here if I went all
No,
for it.
I
But
don't
then
you don't need to.
I said, well, let me ask my husband if it's okay. But he
Mm,
did because my ex-husband and I are divorced, but we're actually very good friends.
yeah.
And so I started waiting tables,
Hmm.
doing my painting commissions, teaching kids art lessons. I'm also a mom and a wife and apprenticing all at the same time for 18 months. I did that apprenticeship.
So not a lot going on.
Yeah, just
Jeez.
very slow time in my life. I've
Yeah.
never, thank God for that ADHD.
Yeah.
Some people might put it down. I'm like, that's what gets me through the day.
Yeah. So what I'm curious about is how is that transition from pen and paper or pencil and paper to tattooing?
Uh huh.
Like, because it feels like it's almost like I just remember I had an art class in college. I took a lot of art classes in college. That's what I thought I wanted to do, right? But I changed my major like 5 times. And I just remember when you sat on that bench with the big board in front of you and the pad, and I'm like, instead of I'm on a desk drawing like this, it was hold the pencil like this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was a huge shift of, hey, this is how I used to draw. So like I'm guessing there must have been a lot of like transition from a pen and paper to
Yeah.
tattooing. I
Well,
mean,
first of all,
it's
too, I do big paintings and I do watercolors. So I'm there is one trick that I do that I still do while I tattoo. Mall stick is something that keeps your hand off of your painting,
oh yeah,
right? So, and also I'm a watercolorist, so I'm used to not having my hand. So I'm used to always kind of going like this. Well, you'll notice. I don't even know if this is a correlation, but it just made me think of it. When I tattoo, I have a tendency to anchor my fingers together to
okay,
keep me in certain positions when I
okay,
tattoo.
yeah.
It's really
No, it makes
crazy.
sense.
It's really weird. And I
Yeah,
try to get my apprentices to do that. And they're like, girl, I
that's
don't know
weird.
what you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I guess it's because I was a professional artist before. So I'm
yeah.
just used to it really wasn't that hard of a transition for me because well, for that reason, but also like I said, I was doing commissions for people. People will ask you to do the wildest paintings. So not only is the physicality of the medium different, but you would it was something I was already doing in the what do you want on your
Yeah,
body
yeah, yeah.
experience. I was like,
Yeah.
I already do that. I used to call it commissions on canvas. I'm just doing tattoos on tattoos on canvas because I was already kind of doing that,
Yeah.
you know, and the wildest things. So I already had that thing where I have this tendency to dream about my artwork that I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
Um, I do it all the time. Um, and it will kind of come into formation, be like, oh, that's what I just did my friend Adam's tattoo on Monday, and I had dreamt about what it's going to look like. So I'm like, well, I hope you like this because this is what I dreamt.
Right, right.
And he's like, that's crazy. He
Yeah.
loved it, and he got it tattooed. So
Yeah. Well, we can get into more details about that stuff, but then,
mhm.
so you're doing that, you're doing the apprentice, and it's an 18-month apprenticeship.
This one was, yeah.
This one, okay. And what was that like? From would you go and have to do a certain amount of time there, like put in hours, and then how
Yep.
are you getting taught or
I was
like,
literally setting up, tearing down, and just
oh, like
watching
the
and
shop stuff?
watching and
Yeah.
watching and
Okay.
watching.
Yeah.
I think that I fell more into my own way when I was in my own shop because my apprenticeship stopped abruptly
Okay.
and I was just done. And she's like, "Okay, you can go open your shop now." I'm like, "What?" So I just had the space next to hers, and I was like, "Well, I didn't realize I was going to have to open my own tattoo shop
Yeah.
after ship. Well, I kind of thought I was going to stay here." So that's how I opened my own store. It wasn't because I wanted to. It
Yeah.
was because, oh, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
But I am pretty good at, if people haven't noticed this about me, you can kick me out of the nest. This little birdie is going to fly.
Whoa. That's
So,
pretty good.
hmm and at that exact moment was the anniversary of my father's passing, and my mom or my grandma was in hospice. So I was like, so I'm having to deal with the health inspector. I'm having to deal with turning my shop that I was teaching children in
To a
into a
tattoo.
tattoo studio.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a lot. But
And what year was this? 2000.
2017, 18, 2017, 18, one of those two. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's a business.
Yeah.
So there's a business side to it, meaning like the money and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So to get,
And I don't know if y'all have ever opened up a business before. It's not free.
yeah,
They don't give you the supplies. They don't give you, I know you have to think about the licensing for an establishment
yeah,
is way different than going to, I can't, it's a lot.
yeah,
It's a lot. And a lot of people like to do these little tattoo studios by themselves. I don't know if people can understand how much work it is to have
yeah,
a tattoo studio all by yourself. And now I have girls that work with me, um, and I just sweat all the time about how much work it is. It's all I do is think about, oh, okay, the shop needs this. Okay, the shop needs that.
yeah.
I have lists and
So you're like president, CEO, financial, like the
the financial. I am the
CFO.
chief financial
Yeah,
officer.
see, it's
Yeah,
pretty cool. And the artist.
and owner operator artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you incorporate into some kind of LLC or like a sole proprietor
I am
or
still a sole proprietor
okay.
because of the way that I do my chair rents.
Oh
Um,
yeah, gotcha.
I'm really weird about finances. We actually, my ex-husband and we had an accountant that really messed up some numbers once with his business, with his partner, and it was bad.
Yeah,
And it really scared me.
yeah.
So it really freaks me out. And I know I should get better with the financial stuff, but
Well,
um, yeah, it was really scary. He inverted numbers in the bad way.
yeah.
I mean, he was like,
You always,
"What?
I'm
What?"
telling
Yeah.
you, there's so many horror stories I hear
So many
of
horror stories.
accountants that are friends, family friends, and the next thing
Yep.
you know, they're either embezzling money from
Yes.
you or screwing something up
Yeah.
and being like, "Oh, sorry that happened."
So I'm not really taught me how to do my finances, how to keep a really close track. He was really good with that stuff. So I do learn by watching, and I do observe. And I've also had, thank God, a lot of jobs in corporate world and in small business world. And I tell you what I watch the most is what not to do.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah,
how people
yeah,
ruin businesses,
yeah,
that's the best way to learn how to run a good business and how to don't get bigger too fast.
yeah,
Don't like if you own a business, you should be the, I don't know. Okay, maybe this is wrong, but I should be the hardest worker at my business because I want it to run.
Yeah.
I want it, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
So
get it
whatever.
100%.
Hmm.
So let's back a little bit because you went from you go from high school to now doing the waitressing and the other five jobs. And so when did Brody come along and how was that? Because you had another thing to juggle. You said mom, but like that must have been
Well, I was a single mom for a long time too.
yeah.
Um, I had Brody when I was 20. I'm really, in case you can't tell, I'm really bad with numbers and ages and timelines. I had Brody when I was 26 or 27, um, and by myself for the most part. And Josh, my ex-husband, came along when Brody was 6. So I had help after that.
Yeah. And did you guys live together as a
Hmm.
family?
Hmm.
Okay. And then that
And then I went to work for Josh and was his second shooter for years and years and years. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, so I was a second shooter, assisted. We went to Italy, Ireland, California, all over the
okay.
place to shoot. And then we shot weddings. We were huge here.
Yeah.
We were the best wedding photographers in Twin Cities for a long time. But also doing that, guess what?
You
I
met,
met
I
more
was gonna say you met
people.
more people, yeah.
Yeah, so not only have I waited on people, I've taught their children. My son was in junior high and high school when I was in my apprenticeship for tattooing. And did I already say shooting weddings? I mean, I just like this list of people that, because I'm really nice and I'm funny. You better watch it. He better watch it. Um, and I'm not, I don't know, I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty warm and I'm pretty easy to get along with. So, and I'm not a wallflower. So I've met all these people and I just kind of, I feel like it may have taken me this long to do this,
Yeah.
but I think that it was the road that I
I
needed
was
to
gonna say it
take.
was like,
Because some people
yeah,
are like, I don't understand like how you have such a following. Well, I didn't just
right. It didn't
wake up
happen.
with that. I
Yeah.
have worked my
Right.
butt off to get here. I have done
Yeah.
all the really hard jobs. And when I shot weddings, we weren't on a timeline of 4, oh, we're here for 4 hours. Our wedding shoots were, we will probably come to the rehearsal dinner to meet all the family. And
Mhm.
then we will be there when you want us there in the morning, which when you get ready, and we'll leave at the last dance.
Yeah.
We're not,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're not hiring us for 5 hours. I don't
Right.
believe in that kind of wedding photography. And I'll say it to everybody. I don't care. Come at me.
Yeah.
I think the work that people do now, I'm
Yeah.
going to quit talking about that.
No, no.
A lot of feelings about photography right now.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think what I'll try to summarize, like I feel like there's so many people that will see the end result.
Yeah.
And today I feel like, and I have two daughters that are, 22 and going to be 19, 20. And it's like that age of kid or person work in the work environment today, they want the money. They don't want to do the work.
Oh,
And what I'm
100%.
getting at is like all these guys like that like social media influencers that are like successful in say running or whatever it
Yeah.
is. You're putting out there all of this, hey, I won this race or I did great in this, but you're not looking at it like it's 4 in the morning, it's dark out and you're running.
Yes.
So all those little things that you did, like
Yes.
you said, hey, I didn't just all of a sudden become the best tattoo artist in the Quad Cities. It took you 10 years or
Oh
whatever
my
it is,
gosh. Yeah.
meeting the people, but also that getting that hard work experience
Hmm.
of just like the groundwork up. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So there's also like another stage to the story where you have now you're side by side,
Hmm.
and then now what happens? Like you're doing that for how long? I can't remember. Like you doing the
I was side by side with best friend, me, and my ex-husband.
yeah.
What? I mean, you can't write this stuff. Um, uh, I went full time. Okay, so this is funny. Well, funny. I decided in March of 2020 that I was going to just go
Yeah.
to tattooing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a brilliant time.
Yeah.
I actually made this big flyer. All my kids knew I'm not going to teach anymore
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Because you
still
had
then
yeah, yeah.
I was still then half and half teaching and tattooing. And I made this big flyer. And then I don't know if you heard
No,
what happened in March of
maybe
2020, but
remind
this
me.
thing called quarantine happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to do anything until July of 2020 is when tattoo shops were allowed to reopen in Illinois.
Okay.
But as a sole proprietor, I
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to take unemployment until May. That was a hard hit for me.
So wait, March,
March, April, May. I was 3 months
three
with no
months,
income.
but rent.
Yeah. And a mortgage because we have a
Yeah.
big, beautiful house in Rock Island, a big mid-century modern house in Rock Island that we had just bought in October of
Wow.
2019. Yeah. No big deal. It was
Yeah.
fine. It was fine.
Yeah. It
I was
sounds
doing,
fun.
yeah, it was horrible. I did some Zoom art classes.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and then I did some like free coloring pages for the
Oh.
world
Huh.
because I like to give
So
back.
now
I like to give back. I can't help it.
the
It's
world
wonderful.
opens, and I'm guessing because I remember you also would do, weren't you doing some like menu boards and stuff like that
Oh
all
yeah, I
along the
was always
way,
doing
and
chalk and
murals
murals and
for
windows. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
doing
yeah,
windows. I used to love doing windows.
yeah. But you're now back, okay? So it's
And she's back.
COVID year, and then I'm guessing that half the world was probably like scared to death. I mean, you're talking about tattoos in if you don't know, and I mean, you can tell it, talk about how clean it has to
Yeah,
be, and
100%.
in this, I mean, you're
And I'm
penetrating
right,
skin
and
and
I'm right by your face. All,
yes,
no matter
right,
where I'm
right,
at,
right, right, right,
well,
and
I
you're
guess if I'm doing legs, but I mean, if I'm anywhere on your upper
yeah,
torso, I'm going to be by your face.
right. And so now tell me about the where did this intersection happen where, I'll say the divorce or that happens and then next thing you know you have, hey, I can maybe expand.
Okay, so I've also got a little secret
Yeah,
I could
that
tell you too
okay.
about another expansion that's happening.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's like
Do you want to
perfect
save
timing.
it? Oh, okay.
I'll save it for the
No,
so
you
after
can
this
talk about
story.
it whenever you
Okay,
want, but
so we decided to get divorced in April of 2021. So it was
okay.
a really fun timeline for me. Yeah. But we were still really close. Um Sometime thereafter. And I said, and he was going to sublet it. I'm like, please don't do that. I
Yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah.
what if I can put a door in between the kitchen and your space? Um, then I can turn that into a tattoo studio as well. And he goes, oh, you can't put a door there. Well, I don't know if you've
Yeah.
been to my shop,
You
John.
yeah.
There's a door there
Yeah.
now.
Well, you already said it earlier and you can't say what I can and cannot do.
Yeah,
And no one's
you're
going
not
to
going
tell
to tell
you
me. And I
no.
didn't even have to do it. Guess who did it? The building.
Yeah, right.
So I took over that space. I just took over the lease. I'm always probably way too nice to people, but actually being nice for me doesn't mean I'm not firm.
Correct. Yeah.
So I was nice, and I just took the lease over. I'm like, instead of you worrying about a sublease,
Yeah, right.
just let me take over.
Yep.
Well, the person to my right now, well,
Hmm.
stage right, um, that shop is leaving, and I am now expanding into that shop as well, and that will be at the end of June
I've never
or
even been in
July.
there. I've never been in there. I mean, how big is it?
It's not very big. It's
Yeah.
just 2 rooms. Um, and a break room, if you will. I don't really know what it is now. I
So
think they use
who,
it for storage.
we can go into that whole detail. Like, so you got your space, I know, and I got the old space, I know.
Hmm.
And now you have a new apprentice,
Uh-huh.
you have one that's just graduated,
Yeah.
and then you might have an assistant. So like
No,
who's
okay,
in
no,
the other,
actually
yeah,
when I
who's gonna, are you gonna,
in my old art class studio is Emmeline, and she's been there for a while now.
oh yeah,
And
okay.
then I have Kylie who is graduated from apprenticeship. Her apprenticeship, she did over 300 tattoos in her
That's
apprenticeship.
unbelievable.
Yeah. In
That's
my
pretty cool.
apprenticeship, I did 20.
Yeah.
20.
Well, it
Think
looks
about
like I
that.
guess the math doesn't add up in terms of
No,
being
it doesn't.
good
Well,
and
okay,
oh, you're
there is
right. I
that,
mean,
but also though, think that's wild.
because you were the teacher now, and you were like,
Yeah. So
this is the way it
yeah,
should
I
be.
just
And I
think
don't
that
even know
I
what a
think you
normal
should.
apprenticeship.
Well, everything's different, but I think that you should definitely have more than 20 tattoos before
Yeah.
you're kicked out of the nest. So anyway, that person's leaving and I'm expanding over there. So I have my apprentice
Okay.
now. She will be by me for a very long time. I am taking over that space so nobody else can take it over. I
Gotcha.
do have some people on board of the female type because I love men,
So
but
women.
I also like to have a very safe space for, well, I
Yeah.
mean, your daughters come to me.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a safe space for people to send their daughters that don't have to worry about anything bad happening to them.
Yeah.
And
Because
tattoo
that,
shop can be very, very
yeah,
intimidating.
let's talk about that for a quick second. Like I just remember so I'm a little older than you, maybe a lot. And
by 35 years.
Not 35. You graduated in 89?
No, I didn't graduate
Oh,
till
you went to high.
93.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also only
Yeah, so
17 when I graduated. I'm 50. I am the big 50. I just turned 50 this
okay.
year.
So I'm not that much
No, you're
older.
not that much older.
But what I was going to say is that the tattoo industry, let's say, where it used to be taboo, right? Like say 35 years ago,
Mhm.
40 years ago, it was like motorcycle gangs or military, like the Navy, and even now, like you can have tattoos in the military, whatever. But anyway, what I was getting at is that it seemed like for me was my brother got tattoos. He was in the Marines, but he got tattoos, and that world was like scary
Yeah.
almost. Like I wouldn't
Oh,
even
my first
step
apprenticeship
into
was
a
scary.
tattoo parlor
Yeah.
and I'm a guy and I was
Yeah.
in high school or whatever and I never got one. My neighbor, this is how my tattoo story started or getting a tattoo. My neighbor, same thing. We used to in elementary school, he'd come over. My parents had the card table we had in the basement and we would draw. Him and this kid's name was Mike Penta. He passed away, but he decided he was going to be a tattoo person. So he's like, let me, put. He's like, just starting out, so he needed a test. So he did a tattoo. I drew it, and I got a shamrock on my leg.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just remember it was the dumbest thing ever. Not to get the tattoo, but when I got it, I was leaving for football camp for
Oh,
college,
no. Yeah.
and this thing got so infected
Mhm.
because my cleat was like rubbing up against. Oh, it was so nasty. So I had like a hole in my leg.
You sure did. Yeah.
I had a hole in my leg, and I had to wait years for that thing to heal, and then I got it redone. But that tattoo parlor world back then, and that was when I was like 19, 20 years old, whatever, was a scary place. And I don't think it's that way now, right? It's evolved into
There is,
mainstream
yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. There are still very scary places, though.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. I'll tell you, that's what I was going to get to. The next story was like then my first like big tattoo. My mom passed away in 2001, and I wanted to create a tattoo in memory of her, right? And it was like a cross, and it had her initials, LVO. And so my brother had already gone to this girl and got a tattoo at her house,
Mhm.
and it was this girl, and she was from Salem, Mass, and she was witch.
Yeah.
Okay. And so her name was like Tracy Divine. Tracy, I think was related to like the Cabot family or somehow, whatever. And I think that was like the one of the witches of Salem. But anyway, what I'm getting at, so he's like, oh, we'll just go to Tracy and we'll go
Yeah.
to her house. And so I'm like, okay. Well, she was a very interesting human. Lived in New Hampshire when I got there, and it was up in her like attic of her house. I was scared to death, and I was
Yeah.
with my brother and a friend of his. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's no big deal." And she was like a into Wiccan and
Yeah.
all that, like a legit witch.
Mhm.
And here I am in this person's attic getting a tattoo. But anyway, that was my first real like, okay, go get a tattoo somewhere.
Yeah. My first shop, the guy that I worked for was amazing. Gentle, quiet. His name was Eric Kane. But my first big girl tattoo, the tattoo shop, the guy was so weird. And it took, we were there for, I swear to God, 10 hours for this dumb little tattoo that I got. He ordered lunch after I decided what I was getting. I'm like, what? Why are you eating? What?
Yeah,
Why are you eating right now? That has not changed in the tattoo world, which
really.
I'm like, you've been to my shop, you know
Yeah,
how it goes. You get there, you're getting tattooed. There, yeah.
yeah.
And once again, what did I learn? I learned what
What not
not
to
to
do?
do
Yeah,
is how I do things. Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, there are still some really, really bad places out there and
yeah,
scary people. But it is getting better, and it is definitely more mainstream, which I'm thankful for. I really wish that where we live, we could have parental consent because there are a lot of younger
yeah,
people now getting really,
yeah,
really bad apartment tattoos
yeah,
and garage tattoos. I
yeah,
had somebody call me today, and I'm like, I can't, honey. My name is too big. And I don't
yeah,
mean
yeah,
that, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mean
No, I
that in
get
like
it.
a
No,
cocky way. I mean,
no,
like, if I tattooed a 16-year-old, people
yeah,
would know
yeah,
if it got out there, and I
yeah,
would lose my license.
yeah,
I wish we could change that, but at least it's 18 now.
Yeah.
It used to be 21 in Moline.
Yeah, and I made both girls wait.
Uh-huh.
Erin
Yeah.
was so pissed she wanted me to take her to Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm not doing it. We're
No,
just gonna wait.
My son had to wait till he was 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to now, you have that huge space,
Yep.
and you're gonna transition from the shop to this, and you have somebody taking over that. Someone took over that your
My
old
girl
spot.
Emmeline.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then, what year is it where you took that whole thing over? Did
I'm
you say it
wanting to say
was
it was 2022, but I could be wrong. I
2022?
think so. I don't think Emmeline was not my apprentice yet. I just had all this. I just didn't want anybody else to get it, and
Yeah,
I'm like, I will work
it's a
harder.
huge spot.
It is, and it's beautiful. Um, I wanted it, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I'll just tattoo more. I'll
yeah,
work more. I will always work harder and longer. I will do what it takes to get there, and it might not sound smart or safe, but I stretch and
yeah.
I go home
Your
and I have
hands. Yeah,
I do
yeah,
all the stuff. I try to eat
yeah,
really right. Um, I don't know.
yeah.
I will do it though. And if I don't succeed, that's because I myself didn't try hard enough. Um, I don't know.
All right.
I just
We
try
talked.
so hard all
I
the
remember.
time
I
though.
remember. I remember we talked about this before about how, like, let's call it like the technology of tattooing has changed,
Hmm.
I'm interested to know because to me, like that, bzz, like the electric, needles. Was it how you started? That's how you started, and now it's all like battery powered,
Yeah, a
and
lot of
it's
people still use that.
okay. I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
know why they
Yeah.
do.
But what do I get it? Is it harder or was it harder or is it the same?
No, it was harder.
It was harder.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was
I
harder on
can
your
only
body because
imagine.
it's heavier.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was less safe. I don't care what they say. I also think it's less sanitary. Um, Here's where it's hard though, because now it is so easy to get tattoo supplies. Even in the last like 3 years, you used to have to be a licensed tattoo artist to get
Tons of
supplies,
stuff. Yeah.
and now Amazon
Yeah,
has it.
that. Yeah.
Um, it's really annoying, and that's where like the parental consent,
Yeah.
like they have
That's
people
where I
just
was
getting
headed with the whole
machines.
thing was like,
Hmm.
you were saying parental consent, like, because the
They
getting
don't even wear
garage tattoos.
gloves half the
Yeah.
time.
And that's the part I think that you could probably imagine the horror stories of
Yeah.
like bad tattoos and infections and stuff like that.
And it's not, it's like, okay, first and foremost, do you want a bad tattoo?
No.
No. But I myself have had an infected tattoo, and I was in the hospital for 9 days.
Yeah.
And that was at a shop, at a man's, sorry, I shouldn't have, at a man's shop. Um, they were like, oh no, you can tell the tattoo slid off of my arm.
Ugh.
Um, it was real bad. That is in a shop just that was coded in Iowa, but somebody wasn't being sanitary. So I've had people tell me the horror stories about what it's like to get a tattoo in an unprofessional setting, and there's no gloves, there's no sink. I had a girl come in and show me that is on Facebook. The guy's on Facebook tattooing on his dining room. What's it called? Like when you have a bench seating in the dining at your dining room table, like a bench,
Like a picnic table?
like that kind of seating on his dining room table. Just this girl's leg on his. I'm like, what is happening? He's posting about it. Worst tattoo I've ever seen. I didn't even know. I'm like, that's a dog. That's a dog. You just blew up your whole thigh in somebody's dining room.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's just there are so many problems and issues with the ease of getting
Yeah.
things quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it because I mean it is. It's all like I said, the technology's changed, so it makes it easier,
Hmm.
or what you think is easy. But it is a pretty I'll call it technical process,
Yeah.
right? Like for
And
you
there's
to
like
set
50
up,
steps. There's like
yeah,
50 steps. Yeah.
yeah. And as a customer, I feel like it's probably and you are quick, you're fast about
Hmm.
it, and you're ready when you
Yeah.
get there and all that kind of stuff. But I could see people getting a little frustrated because it is you want to be sanitary and you have to go through the process and all that kind
Hmm.
of stuff. Um, and I'm only imagining like I think I remember hearing like back when it was the electric, gun, reusing those needles, right? Like washing them or sanitizing
Autoclave.
them.
It'd be an autoclave if you did that. I have heard horror stories about people just still reusing needles to this day, and like
I can't even imagine.
the shops that do like the super inexpensive tattoos.
They
How are
just
you
keep,
doing that?
yeah,
I would love to know how you're doing that. I've heard horrible stories. I am saying their stories. I do not know the truth,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know. I have a lot of
And let
people
me
come
ask
through
you
my
about
shop.
the like the if you want to get into the technical details of like actually how it works and like the ink, what's the ink made out of and how does it stay? Like to me, I'm like I'm amazed like how it stays in
Me
your
too.
skin. Right? Like it just stays in
It's
your
a magic trick.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
is magic. All
It's
right.
amazing. I think it's amazing. It's something that humans have done since the beginning of time. I think it's beautiful. I do think it's magical. I think there are some tricks to the trade that should be kept very secret. I don't think everybody should know how to do this. I don't think that, I think it should be something that's sacred to you.
Yeah.
If you think of an idea on Tuesday, I'm like the last one to talk because I get tattoos all the time. But if it's one of your first tattoos and you don't look like a giant sketchbook like I do, why wouldn't you want it to be a little bit special? Even if it
Yeah.
has to, even if you have to wait a couple of months,
Yeah.
or
Uh,
pay. This is one thing that I do see. Like people will spend so much money on hair and nails, and I love hair and nails, but you have to pay that again in like a month
yeah, right.
or 6 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is going to be on your body forever.
Right.
Like maybe take a little bit of time and care about like who you're
Yeah.
going to, or I don't know. It just, it's hard for me to see
Yeah.
that's the way it's going so mainstream now that I'm sure there's going to be a resurgence, or I don't know what the right word would be, but where it and oversaturated, it's going to dip at some point.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I wanted? I was going down this track earlier, but I forgot it was that what it like when the old school tattoo parlor type place was like a place that you went in and you looked at a book and you picked one out.
You picked out
You know
your
what I'm
first
saying?
of
You
all, you
picked
picked
out
out your artist that way too.
yeah, well, it was actually probably just a random who's next in the places that I would
Yeah,
like, who's
yeah,
ever
yeah.
next
That's
and you
true.
walk in
Yeah.
versus like because I don't know what the percent back then was of setting up a tattoo or just a
Hmm.
walk in, probably a lot of walk-ins, but I remember going
Yeah.
in and then you get the book and you look and say, okay, I want this one. So like from that point in the business to today, where I feel like for me anyway, personally, it was like I kind of designed all of
Yeah.
mine, you know, bits and pieces, and then you as the artist can interpret it
Can
and
fine
then
tune
make
it
it
or
and
what
fine
have you.
tune it, and you've done it and you do amazing. So like, tell me about that process now. Where are people? I know you do those flash sheets and they're automatic,
Hmm.
like, hey, these are the ones. But from a customer standpoint, coming to you with an idea or
Hmm.
coming to you with, hey, this is what I want, turn it into your artwork and put it on me. Like, what do you percentage wise? Like you're saying, you want to wait, but you want to get it right. Like, what? How explain how that whole process with you works? Like, if I say I want a tattoo.
I have a little flyer that I text people back with, and it's just send me some tattoos that you've seen that you like. So I have an idea of your style because there are so
That's what I was going to ask
many
about
styles
styles
now.
too. Yeah.
Um, I like to do realistically whimsical. I like
Okay.
illustrative. I love black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am not a messy girl. I don't like messy art, which is funny because I do. There's this very particular thing that I do in my paintings that is very messy, but I don't like it in any other style. I'm a weird artist. I'm very particular. Um, but anyway, I like to see what exactly they've seen that they
Mm.
like.
Yeah.
And then I want to know what their reference ideas are. Like what do you want in this? Is it a pet? Is it a flower?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
a memorial?
Yeah.
I the more things you tell me the better. Um, I'm gonna make fun of my friend Adam again here for a second. He sent me a three, I don't even know what it would be called because I am an artist, I'm not a computer whiz. This Google Doc. He had a full blown essay sent to me. He wrote an essay. It was very funny. And then, oh my gosh, probably 45 reference images. It
Oh
was
wow.
amazing. And I made fun of him for that. He's like, I have really bad ADHD. I'm like,
Yeah.
so do I. Do you know how hard it was to read?
Yeah.
But it all came to fruition with me dreaming about his tattoo because I had all of those points in my
Yeah. Yeah.
head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that's how I come. I love it when people do. I love it when people draw stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not an artist. I'm like, actually, yes, you are because you know what you want. It's in there.
Yeah.
Just because you can't make it quote unquote perfect,
Yeah.
everyone, in my opinion, is an artist. Sketch something out, and then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're seeing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it when people sketch me stuff. I really like doing pets and florals though, and I also love doing like weapons, which probably looks kind of weird. I love weapons and bones. I don't know. I could go on. I just love art. And if if you want to just send me all the art stuff, I'm like, "Oh, you can never send this one too many wild references because
Yeah.
in my mind it all melds together. Oh, I just love it. Love it.
Yeah, and you also ask, okay, where do you want it? How big do you want it?
Yes,
Like
I
on your
ask all the
body? Yeah,
questions.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know bodies. I mean, I'm 50 years old at this point, and
Where not to get it.
we're not. Yeah, and we're
I
like,
mean,
that's not going to look good there. But let's try something else. And if
yeah.
you really want something there, let's revisit that, and maybe we'll pick some points out. Yeah, I can look at somebody, and also back to wedding photography.
Mm,
I have shot brides for years, so I know what women, and I do specialize in women's tattoos. I know what parts of the body of women like to show off and make sexy, and not that that's what it's all about. But women aren't trying to get tattoos to not make their bodies
yeah.
to make them look worse, right? So I'm like, well, how about if we make
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah. And where I was going was like, okay, the process. And now, if you want to talk, I know you said you don't want to reveal all the secrets of what it is, but it is technical when you term in terms of like the inks. And that's what I was getting at. I was like, what are they made out? Like, what is it made out of, and how does it stay in your body? And like, and how do you like? Obviously, you learn through being an apprentice, but like, if I was gonna do it, I just feel like I would be pressing or something like in as opposed to like letting the needle do the work or
Hmm.
whatever. And then I always ask, like, how do you even know where to start once you get that on the person so that you're not, like you said earlier, like putting your hand in the ink
Hmm.
or in the paint
Or wiping up the
or wipe.
stencil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
but I mean,
okay.
as far
Well,
as the
the
quality of
things
ink
that
goes,
the
like,
quality of ink is
okay,
huge.
and there
First
must
of
be
all, you
some
have to.
shitty ink.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also if you're buying ink off Amazon,
yeah.
it might look like the ink that you buy from a site, but I don't know if anybody knows this, but it's
No.
like with cosmetics,
Yeah.
they can change one little thing about it, and that's not the product that you're getting. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's always best to get your inks through a reputable tattoo company. And I think most tattoo shops around here have very specific brands that we use. Like it's like Eternal and Solid.
Okay.
Um, and I use pretty good needles too. There are some tattoo artists that are super particular about the needles that they
Yeah.
use. Where you get your needles and where they're made is also huge. So that's something too. Since the industry has grown so much, everybody wants part of it. So there's
Yeah.
all these crappy
Like all
needles
these,
being made.
yeah,
Are they sanitary? Are they
teamer
sharp?
needles.
I don't know if people are like looking like when I said I used to solder needles together,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would have your little
Yeah,
monocle on and
yeah,
you would literally have to look
yeah,
at each like one little thing and look together to see if it's got a
yeah,
barb on it. You should still do that. But now that they're coming in cartridges,
yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
there's very specific needle configurations that I use. I do like to try new needles, but I have this one. I have very specific machine and a very specific set of needles that I use to do what I do.
Yeah.
And there's a very specific ink that I use to do what I do. And the way that I make my ink. And we are very secretive about
Yeah, no, I don't
our
want to talk about
potions
that
and
part.
lotions, but it's a lot of I do a lot of fine line, and some people
Yeah,
are like, "Oh, that's a real tattooing." Okay, well, if you
why
want to go
not?
back to real tattooing,
Just,
traditional is
yeah,
exactly. I hate the boys' club of traditional or not. They're bold lines of a whole. Yeah, you know what? I might have to go over a fine line in a couple of years, but do I really want this thick tattoo that looks?
yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think I bet it's probably from, and at the same time of like you were talking about, it's like all men, but I feel like like TV. So like the Navarro show, right? That was pretty
Ink
cool.
Master.
Yeah, Ink
Yeah,
Master, and then you got Kat Von
yeah.
D, and then she became like the only female tattoo person that became
The face of tattooing,
recognizable as a
100%,
woman, right?
100%.
And then like from a hey where I don't even remember what I was going to say about that, but it was got to do with the process and the needles. That's what I was going to ask you. Fine. The lingo you were just saying
Mhm.
probably came from people watching the show, like
Yeah.
old school tattoo.
Yes,
It means
100%.
something, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it meant until
Hmm.
you see the show, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this, or we're gonna do fine line and this and that." So there are definitely like, and I've asked you when you tattoo, and there's different needles for each
Hmm.
part of the tattoo or a color versus a fine line? Is
There's a
it one
shader,
needle?
there's a
Is it
liner, there's a mag, there's a
yeah,
curve
yeah,
mag.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, those are the kinds of things I think
Yeah.
people would be interested in knowing,
Yeah.
or just like hearing and knowing about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how it works. It's not
So
just one needle.
if you're going somewhere and they literally have like a needle or two needles out, it's like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
different. Some people also don't want to spend the money on using lots of like so the old school you'd have to set your machines up so you'd see lots of machines. I know there's a tattoo artist around here. I didn't knock my water
no,
over, Dad, I swear. He's amazing and he makes his own machines.
okay,
He is one of the craziest. His tattoos are amazing.
yeah,
And to watch him tattoo, I got a tattoo just so I could watch how he
yeah,
tattoos. Not because I'm going to replicate it because I
right,
don't want I'm not going back old school machines, but he sets up like four different machines to do these different things and it's amazing.
yeah.
Is he expensive? Actually, I think he could be way more expensive. Does he take a long time? Yeah, but it's
Comes out pretty quick.
amazing.
Yeah,
But all these his stuff is yeah. So I can use anywhere between like 3 and 10 needles in a session. Because I'm a huge line variation fan. I want my line. I do like thick lines, and then you know what? I like very thin ones
yeah,
too, because I want my art to be dynamic and beautiful. Not every piece needs that, but I think most pieces need it if you want it to be beautiful.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, speaking of that, so like that old school style of tattoo, I think when I mentioned technology changing from electric to this, the kind of like rechargeable battery,
Mm-hmm.
whatever needles, I think the tattoo styles have like I've seen some unbelievable like 3D
Mm-hmm.
and also the watercolor. Like watercolor to me was like, holy crap, it looks like an actual watercolor
Yeah.
painting. Like so like how did and I guess how did it evolve from like old school tattooing to this
I
new
don't
stuff?
know because I've been there the whole time, and that's what's crazy. I just think that we have that's my shoes. I'm trying not to be squeaky, guys. I'm trying to cross my legs differently. I don't know. It's been such a I do actually, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I do think it was Ink Master putting it out there and Kat Von D putting it out there into the world, and people are like, oh, that's not so scary.
Yeah,
And then they're like, well, what if we tried this? It's literally just about trial and error. Um, I wasn't taught how to do fine line and that has just now come into the like it's been big the last couple of
yeah,
years but I didn't get taught that at all. That's something that I'm like, well, I guess I'll try it.
yeah,
And watercolor, I'm like, I guess I'll try
yeah,
it. So you have to kind of think as a painter or as an illustrator. You're like, well, what would I use
yeah,
and how would I do that and
yeah,
what would I it's really hard to figure out. I don't know who comes up with this stuff, but I love it.
yeah. I've
I have
seen,
my own particular style.
yeah,
Um, and people know that now, which is wild to me that they're like, oh, that's an Aimee Ford tattoo. It's like,
mm,
I think I just posted about that today, actually.
did you?
It was, it's crazy. You just kind of, sometimes these styles just naturally evolve.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
became more mainstream because of TV and obviously social media made it go all over the place. But I do think that styles just kind of happenstance and evolve. And people are like, oh God, that's beautiful. Um, I'm still amazed by things that I see. There's an artist, another male artist here who is just, it's not my type of thing that I would want on my body, but to see how it's insane. It's like, how do you do
yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite is when you like I follow a whole bunch of tattoo things on Instagram or
Hmm.
something, is when they do like they wipe it and you're like, holy crap, that's the
It's
it's
insane.
unbelievable
I
what comes
know.
out of there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So like so when I know you're busy, like a lot, your books are what, 6 months out almost,
I'm
3 months, 6 months.
when did I open my book? 2 months ago, and I booked into September.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
And it's March.
yeah, and I think I opened my
So
books
like
in
six
January.
months.
Yeah, 8 months, like something like that. Yeah,
Wow. And on
yeah, September. That would have
average,
been. I booked 9 months
so you
ago.
mentioned, your hands, and obviously I can
It's
imagine
my
like
thumb that
that.
hurts the worst.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I had
it's
a
bad.
cousin that was a hairdresser, and she had to stop doing it because her
Yeah,
hands, and it was like the chemicals,
yeah.
because she would do a lot of chemicals or
Hmm.
whatever. But anyway, longevity wise, you mentioned the old school tattoo gun to the new gun is probably less impact on your hands
Yep,
than the old one.
because it's not as heavy.
And then do you see any like is it do you see any future of evolution of this? Like, you got 3D printers now. I mean, I don't know, like,
Hmm.
is there like a different way that you can apply? I don't know.
Well, what I
Um,
thought was funny is the newest technology is that you're going to put your arm under this scanner and it's going to tattoo you. Have you
like a
seen
print,
this?
no, like a
Yeah.
printer, but into your arm. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like,
Like
how
I've
was
just
that? How
seen,
was that possible?
I don't know.
I don't either. So, what about any other body part? You're
Yeah,
gonna put
right.
your. I mean,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many?
yeah,
It's insane. So there's that technology, but we'll like step over that. But that is out there. Um, I don't know what could possibly be next, but who knew how far it could have come
yeah.
in the last 5 years, even, right? I love technology. I embrace it. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know how you could be so resistant to change. Um, I also always have young puppies in the studio to help this old lady figure things
Yeah,
out. I'm like,
yeah,
make this work.
yeah,
Emma Lynn, I
yeah,
can't figure this
yeah.
out. So I've
Well,
always
how
got
about how
that
about I just thought of this. How about the fact that you used to have to do the drawing on the stencil
on.
versus a computer printing it out?
Oh, 100%.
That's like
Just even doing your
humongous,
stencil,
right?
like I started off, you would have to do the drawing on a light board. If you wanted to copy
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
you would do it on a light board, which I secretly love. I love drawing on a light board. It's so fun. But then you would also then have to then put that on the stencil and then trace it. Oh my God, it was
yeah.
so much freaking
But now you
work.
have your iPad,
Yeah, but
and
okay,
then you
funny story.
print
When
it.
my mentor, I had an iPad before any of those people ever did because I'm a professional artist.
Yeah,
So I was like, have you ever drawn here? She's like, I will never do that. I'm
yeah,
like, girl, it's so much easier though. And they were all very resistant, and everybody does it now. I'm not saying I was
no,
that's
I
not where
get
I'm
it.
going
Yeah,
whatsoever. I just happen to have an iPad
yeah.
before most other people. Um, but it is such a game
But
changer.
because it must make it faster,
Oh my
right?
God,
Like you can
yeah.
you can have somebody, change their mind right there, and all you got to do is go in like you've done,
Even just one
erase it,
little
make a
thing. Oh,
size, all that, and
100%.
then it's printing out on the thing, and
Oh, the
next thing you know, you go
sizing.
right to yeah.
The sizing.
That's
I can do on my computer stuff, which I don't want to I never give anything away. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little
all right.
bit.
Sorry.
Remember when I said that my grandma was a businesswoman?
Yeah,
We're American Indian. We're Oglala Sioux from the Lakota tribe.
you said that kind of fast.
Oglala Sioux
Okay,
from the Lakota tribe.
okay.
So she got off the
Below the hill.
reservation below the hill.
Yeah.
Um, she said, "Why? Don't ever tell anybody your
All right.
secrets."
I didn't know if it was a
No, I'm
secret,
just
but
saying.
I
So it's
mean,
funny
I
that
was
I'm
talking
trying to
technology.
say things without saying things.
Don't then.
But
I was just saying that speeds it up and it also makes it
yeah.
easier. That's technology that's evolved versus hand drawing everything and
Also,
then
it saves the planet a little bit because it's a lot less paper.
maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Except for the fact that there's 8 million people doing it.
yeah.
Mm,
How many? Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So it's a business,
yeah.
and and in any business, it's competitive.
Oh, very.
And I
So the
think that
hustle is real with this one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, from a business side question now, you've got the studio and you're always busy and you're working. So like give me an average of like how many tattoos you do in a week?
Ooh.
About,
I haven't had a day off in I want to say 2 weeks, and then I actually did book this Sunday because a very special circumstance as to I'm like I'll do it. Um, I think I'll have a day off, maybe not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. I work all the time,
yeah,
and when I go out, which I don't really like to go out that much anymore because all I get talked to about is that, and it's really hard.
yeah,
And I'm not trying to be a baby, so I try really hard to be like, Amy, you don't work third shift at a factory.
true.
So I try to just be like, oh, poor
Yeah,
Amy. Somebody's asking you about a tattoo. I try to swallow that, but no, I work a
A
lot.
lot. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And as far as
and a lot of it is off camera time, if you will.
yeah,
So I might be tattooing 3 or 4 tattoos a day, or one big one,
yeah, yeah,
but I'm there all day,
yeah,
drawing, cleaning,
yep.
trying to figure out what to order. And then when I'm at home is when I'm doing the ordering. I'm still answering text messages at home. They never stop.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So do we're talking about being the CEO, CFO, all that, but
Janitor.
at one point you were all of it, But at this point, you know, do you like the scheduling part of it?
That's me.
You do that too?
Oh, 100%. I would
Oh
never
my
trust somebody
God.
with my schedule.
And so
I would never trust somebody with my schedule.
how do you manage that in Excel or something? Like, what do you use to?
Are you ready? I handwrite all of this because people have changed their mind constantly, and only I know. I know exactly how long it takes me.
That's what I
I
was going to ask you because the time part
Yeah,
seems like the biggest wild card
yeah,
of I know this is going to take 2 hours. Well, I got to block, you know, like I
and
guess
I
that.
know that I can get a tiny tattoo and I can have that done in a half hour. So it's that's where
So it's
being
in your
very
head.
hyper is a really good thing because I might have 52 tabs open, but I can open that tab up and be like, oh, this is going to take me that long. Um, and I also know exactly. I don't know. I love working. And I do analog scheduling because people change their mind
Yeah.
all the time. I used to get in a lot of quote unquote trouble for that, not having uh, the way that I can do a scheduling app. So what? So I have two times. So I'm letting people decide
Yeah.
how long.
Yeah. You know, I didn't know
No,
if.
thank you. I'm never going to do that. And if people don't like that, that's too bad. But that's what my girls do too. And we can schedule our back and here, back and forth. And people are like, oh, actually, can I? Actually, I didn't get out. My son's t-ball game didn't get out on time. Can
Oh,
I come
gotcha.
at
Yeah.
can that day? Can I
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
other? Give
Yeah.
me a handwritten something.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm doing it with my hands all the time anyway. It's no different for me. And when you have um, different types of even autism a little
Yeah.
bit. I have like five different handwritten calendars.
Yeah.
It's very, I know, it's embarrassing. I have a few doom piles, but everything else is immaculate in my life. I swear. So it's really funny that, yeah, I get a lot of guff for the handwritten, but all my girls do it, and they're like, I don't know how I would do this digitally. I'm like,
Yeah.
me
No, I
neither.
know. I get it. Like, I'm not. I don't like digital calendars either. Um. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that, but
It's crazy, but I get it's I don't know how they're like, there's this new tattooing app that can handle all of your scheduling. How?
yeah.
How are you going to know that I have to go pick up my mom's medicine at 11:30 and I have to tattoo at 12? Oh wait, let me flip that because now I have to go take my cat to the vet. I have to pick yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, that's a lot.
yeah. Um,
And I don't have an assistant. My
I
assistant is
thought
now
you
my
did
new
though.
I did,
Yeah.
and now she's my new apprentice.
Okay.
I was having her under the guise of the name assistant
Got it.
because I didn't want anybody else to have her.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have room for you
Yeah.
as an apprentice. I will never have apprentice on top of apprentice. It's just inappropriate. You're not focusing.
One
They're
person.
not,
Yeah, one on
yeah.
one. You mentioned it earlier, right?
Yeah.
That
It's a
one on
very
one
one
with
on
the
one.
children and one on one. It makes sense.
That's how you have a good employee in this world, in my opinion.
Yeah. Uh, so you're 50 now, and you've been doing it now for a long time and very successful. What's the long range? Like, what do you think you're gonna do?
Well, there's probably no retirement for me. I mean, let's be real. I was a waitress and an artist. Uh, and Josh and I were photographers. None of that comes with a retirement plan.
Yeah.
My stepdad gets on me for that. I will get to it.
Yeah.
But what's next is just I like my little female empire that I have over there. It's pretty inexpensive to live here in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really see me going anywhere. I do love Tucson. We're visiting there soon. I've thought about maybe relocating to there because
Oh,
I think that maybe I could get my son to move there.
okay.
And I know a couple of my artists would probably go
Is
there
there a
too.
good market for tattoos out there?
Hmm.
Is there?
Yeah. But it's also a big city that feels like a small town. There's a college there. Obviously, it's a huge university there. So if I stayed here forever, I would stay here forever. But if I ever thought like relocating, it
Yeah.
would probably be to Tucson because I know that my ex-husband he lives in LA, so it would be a spot where we could both where Brody would be close
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. You don't got to get into any of the details here, but the question I have has to do with, you know, the way you run your business and you have employees.
Mhm.
So how does that relation like I mean I asked you before, but like if you owned a hair salon or
Mhm.
a spa, they rent chairs from
That's
you
how
or
this is.
that's how it is. So
Mhm.
they rent the chair or the space
Mhm.
for whatever monthly,
Yeah.
and then
They
then
do,
whatever they get they make it's theirs.
and they yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
And they deal with that. They deal with their own schedules. They deal with their own social media.
Okay.
Um, there are some things that I can't talk about there, but they
Yeah,
deal with
yeah.
their own financials,
Because
taxes,
it's your
outside of
brand, right? You're part of
100%.
your
So
brand,
they
and
have to, and they're very comfortable with abiding by my social content and putting it out into the
yeah,
world of what they do in their private life is their private life, but you are under the guise of AF Studio. I have wonderful girls though,
yeah,
and we have media day every once in a while where we come together as a studio and do little TikToks and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm too old for TikToks,
Yeah.
but they like it. I know apparently I have one. I don't know. Um but yeah, it's pretty great. They're pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. So I guess how do people find you?
Um, I'm a text message girl, but they can find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah,
My
tell them.
personal, Instagram and
So what is the name of the
Facebook.
studio and where
It's
is it and what?
Artist Aimee Tattoos is how you can find me on Google. Apparently, I just found this
Oh.
out. I thought it was under Tattoo Studio. It's
Mm-mm.
Artist Aimee Tattoos is
Yeah.
how you'll find me on Google.
I
Artist,
left a review.
yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Gets like 90,000 views or something.
yeah.
I'm not kidding.
It's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I have my Instagram is probably where you'll
Yeah.
get the most information, but my personal Facebook is where actually is the Facebook you should go to because my AF Tattoo Studio Facebook I
Yeah, yeah,
haven't
yeah,
looked
whatever.
at in
Yeah.
years.
And tell where is it physically, the store?
Physically, it's in Moline, Illinois.
Okay.
It's 421 19th Street. It is in downtown Moline. It's in next to the Coney building. It's the
Yep.
tallest building, and I'm on the
Hmm.
bottom southeast corner. My space is beautiful.
It is beautiful. I love it there.
Yeah.
And it's appointment only.
Appointment only. And you get an appointment with me by texting 309-912-5989. And
Wow.
you'll get that flyer that I told you about. Yeah.
And that's your phone you carry around.
Yep. Two phones. Sally over here with, yeah. Yeah. That's my business phone.
Nice. All right, last kind of wrap up here because I don't want to keep you too long. Um, you, like lessons learned, the struggle was real. You put in the work, and now you're really successful, I'll say. Um, but maybe advice for the customer.
Like as far as
Like we
what,
talked
getting
a
a
little bit
tattoo?
about throughout the whole
We both
process.
have on
Like,
snaps and flaps. Did you
uh,
notice we both have on pearl buttons?
no,
We both have on pearl button Western. Sorry, that's my ADHD brain.
okay.
What's my advice for my client?
Well, I guess just advice, and if you're gonna get it, like what you said, you learned from the mistakes yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure because there's cover-ups now for tattoos, and you said that there's
I
the
do a
horror
lot of
stories
them.
about. So, like advice for if you were gonna get your first tattoo,
Wait,
okay,
and do your
and then
research. There's a lot of great tattoo artists in the
yeah,
area. There are so many great tattoo artists here, and they all do different things. Um, it's really easy to find on Instagram, different places. I mean, if you want anime, I point you here. Fine line, I point you here. If you want weapons, I point you here. I mean, there are certain things that I know so many different people that do all the
hmm
great things. Just do your research.
yeah.
Wait.
But
Don't
do
just
you
because you're
recommend? I guess what I'm getting at is, do you recommend going and meeting with the person to see if there is even a connection between the person and
I
or does it?
don't
I
the
mean,
people that I know that if you're finding the artwork that you want around here online and
yeah,
if it looks like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean you need to look into it a little bit. That's like the do your research part. But there are some great men and women doing tattoos around here and that are very reputable, very safe, very wonderful, very kind.
Yeah.
Um think that you need to meet them in person necessarily. I wouldn't want to I don't take the time to do that. I guess that's an in-person consult. It used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
I don't see the need for that anymore.
Okay. I just
If
that's
we don't
what I'm looking
if we
for. It's
don't
like,
vibe
yeah,
that's another reason why I like to text message. Because if
you
you're
can get
just
a feel
yeah,
for.
if you're just throwing your idea online and booking your own appointment, how do you know that you're even going to like that person? You can really tell a lot by how somebody communicates with
Yeah,
you.
100%. I agree.
So yeah.
So do your research.
Hmm.
Wait if you're not sure. You know,
Make sure it's an actual
yeah,
business.
that's what I was gonna say. Is
Oh
next
yeah,
is that
and
there
you can ask. You
you
have the
can do
right to
review.
ask.
You go,
Actually, it's a health violation to not have your licensing in the procedure area.
yeah,
That's an actual health code violation. So if you go somewhere and their licensing isn't right next to their tattoo chair, that's against the law.
Okay.
Easy peasy. But if you're also going to somebody's apartment or garage,
That's a problem.
that's a problem. And but I'll be happy to do your cover ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a
Uh,
lot of those. Anyway, yeah, it's easy to do your research, in my opinion, nowadays as well. It's harder to do the wait. But
yeah.
like for me, I might be booked into September, but I everybody has cancels. Everybody has
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
moves around.
Yeah.
So I also love it. Text me. I might be bored at home, be like, yeah, I
Meet you
was
there.
I'll
Like,
meet you there and I'll do
yeah.
that tattoo right now. Or if you want to tattoo this small or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can do it right now. Or actually, I had somebody who was scheduled at 4 that can't come until 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
I now have a window in.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to go down on my cancel list, which I do have a big cancel list, but I'm not going to go down my cancel list if somebody just messaged me this morning with, "Hey, my grandma passed away." It would mean a lot if I could get obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Another thing I thought of is I remember seeing a couple, maybe it was during the Quad City Marathon, right?
Oh
Didn't you
yeah.
do that thing with like associated with the race where now
Yeah. Yeah, I love doing stuff
did
like that
did
for
did
people.
the people come to the studio?
Yes,
Okay,
because I
because
have a huge studio,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
No,
I can do events like that.
where I'm getting at is that I remember seeing this race and it was out in Utah. And at the finish, if you finished, some guy was there and was could tattoo you
Hmm.
the logo of the race on your leg
Hmm.
right there.
Hmm.
And I thought, man, maybe you could do
Yeah,
that.
that's a festival
That's
license. That's
you
definitely
can do
doable.
that.
Oh,
And
for sure. Hmm.
what would that from a clean and sanitary
Hmm.
type?
If
It's
you
just that
have,
area you're working in has to be that,
yeah.
and it doesn't matter that it's open air or whatever. It's just
No, there just needs to be a hand washing sink. There
yep,
needs to be like an 18-foot
yeah,
barrier
yeah,
where
yeah.
like people aren't coming in.
So it ties into my whole thing with you're super busy. You're booked out 6 to 9 months out. You mentioned earlier you don't want to grow too fast but you only have so many hours in a day for you.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking it from a marketing standpoint, like hey, there's all these trail races and races around here, and it would be really cool to be like, hey, I'm gonna be at Loud Thunder, the 50
Mm-hmm.
miler in Andalusia or wherever,
Yeah.
and then there you go, you get your little
That would be
LT
dope.
50
Yeah. That would
or
be
after
fun.
and wait, right? I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
But the only thing about that is that people would have to contact me ahead of time
Yeah,
to like do that 6 months ahead of time, right? To
that's what I'm
have that.
saying.
Yeah.
You're so busy that it'd be
Hmm.
like a year out
But
for something like that.
I do love doing stuff like that. And actually I do a lot of memorials that way too.
Yeah,
Because I have that big space where it could be private, where I tell my girls that they're not allowed to do tattoos that day.
yeah,
Because I'll have like I think the most I did was like 15 memorial tattoos in a day for this group of people that
yeah, 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 yeah,
our friend passed, and it was
yeah.
like this. Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Well, I love what you're doing. I'm a customer, a satisfied customer. My girls are satisfied. In that story about Erin told her to wait, I'm like, you gotta wait, just wait. Not
Yeah,
just for the age thing, but I said you want it done by somebody that
yeah.
you're
You
not gonna drive to
trust.
Michigan
Yeah.
and do it versus knowing Amy. Um, no, I thank you for doing this. I really
Thank you
do.
for
I thought
having
it was really
me.
cool. It would have been cool if we did it in the studio. It would have been. Maybe we can do another one there. Like,
Yeah. I
in
didn't
the
think
studio.
about. I
That's what
thought
I
this would be
said.
easier for you.
No, I don't. No,
Oh, that's
no.
next time
I
we'll
like
do
to
the
work too.
studio.
All right. Any last words?
No, just come get tattooed by me or one of my girls.
That's next year. I mean, it's 8 months out.
For him, it's never
But do you remember the phone number? I'll put it in the thing. I'll
three
put.
zero nine 912 5989.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.